we're going to do what we do most weeks. We're going to preview, an upcoming fight card. Again, only the main card. This is the UFC fight night for Marvin Vettori versus Jared Cannonier. 6 fights on the main card. Early prelims would really take it over the top. But the first one we got Raoni Barcelos versus Miles Jones.
Yeah. Who do you have?
Good fight, dude.
Yeah.
Good fight. It's tough to call this one, and honestly, I went just Miles Johns. I said Jones. I went Miles Johns for this one. I just think he's gonna. It is a close matchup again, and I love that. I love these fight nights and some of the fights we've been previewing and reviewing in the last while, because there's such potentially interesting fights, and I'd love to see the betting odds for these as well, because it's very closely matched, this one particularly.
Yeah, I do agree.
But I think John's just gonna have a little bit too much.
Okay. I have the other way. I have Raoni. Yeah. Sorry. But I think he reminds me of I don't want to say younger because he's probably around the same age, but of a Jose Aldo. I mean, they both have a similar fighting style. I think he's really good with grappling. He's coming off a loss now, but the win before that was really impressive. Yeah, I don't know. I think he takes it.
He could. I mean, it's a close call. It's really tough. You have to pick one. And again, I'm glad that we've got opposite or opposing opinions. But I could see it. I just think Johns has a little bit too much. What Barcelos is good at doing against his opponents, I think Johns can nullify enough and possibly do better.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a split decision or a 29-28 unanimous decision, or that it goes completely the other way. I would definitely not be surprised.
Yeah. Yo, but I mean, what, that's in sixth spot.
It opens up, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It opens up the main card.
Yeah.
So it's a good card. I mean, these fight nights are starting to get really there used to be sort of filler cards, but they're really starting to come along. Then we got the next fight at lightweight, Manuel Torres versus Nicolas Mota. What you got?
I got Torres.
You got Torres.
El Loco. I think that Torres El Loco. I think that I think he gets better every fight. He was on the Contender Series. I think that he has a few wins. I think he lost to Jackson last. But I think he gets better every fight. I think at this point in a career, I mean, when he's that young, I think at that point in someone's career, you learn so much. And I think that there's enough for him to learn to have so much success. He's got so much range, and he's good at controlling his range. He's he straight kicks up the middle. That's powerful. And if you can use that more to manage the range, because he's still quite close. Yeah. I think that he'll have so much success. Yeah.
I think you're right, and I think that's his key to victory. I just wonder though, with Mota, if Mota can get it to the ground, I think he might have enough to do it, and that's why I'm going for Mota. And I think Mota likely won't be a favorite, but that's okay. I think, again, Torres is very dynamic, and Torres is very good at striking.
Yeah,
but I don't know if anything can happen, but I'm not too sure if Mota's good enough at evading strikes to maybe not get KO'd.
Yeah, and that last fight, he put the guy out super quick. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a tough fight to call. It's also really exciting.
It's really exciting. The matchmakers, you guys have done an amazing job as you always do. But this card particularly, oh man, it's such a tough one to call. Again, you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I went for Mota.
Okay, I respect that.
And Torres too. In your decision, and again, we're going opposing decisions.
Yeah,
so
good to see.
We might be 1-1, we might be 0-2.
Yeah.
So 2-0, who knows? Yeah. But that's going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to watch this. The next one is Pat Sabatini versus Lucas Almeida. What you got?
I have Almeida winning, but that's probably the toughest one for me to call. Just because I don't know. I think there's a lot of momentum with the Brazilian fans right now and fighters, particularly after the UFC 289. I also think that last fight, it was a really good, really strong fight. I think he's got a lot of power, and him in the Contender Series as well was just very impressive. Who do you have winning?
I can see why Almeida, and I wanted to pick Almeida, but I think even though Sabatini's got a worse record than Almeida, okay, 17-4, and I think Almeida's 14-1, something like that.
But he had that 4-fight win streak. I do remember. Yeah, I mean, like, it's convincing. Or like, is that tough? Oh, okay, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, go. No worries.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's It is. It's probably the toughest one to call. I think it's like it's going to be very exciting.
I actually think I think Sabatini might just be dynamic enough. He's good enough on the ground, good enough in his striking to get it done. It's just the way that he fights versus the way that Almeida fights. And I hope I'm wrong with Almeida, because I'd like to see him go further and do well. But I feel like a hype train on him a little bit. But yeah, I could be proven wrong again. It's one of those. Each one of these fights, and there's not one fight besides the second last fight that I can definitively say, like, I feel confident in what I've picked, because these fights can go either way.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely, I agree. I pick Almeida to win. I would like Pat to win. I think Pat, I can just see, like, I think he can do really well in the UFC with his skill set. I think that, like, I think this is weirdly enough, it's a tough fight for him if you just look at that division.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting one. Then we've got Armen Petrosian versus Christian Leroy Duncan.
Armen from Armenia. There's two of them on this card. I think I have Duncan. I have Duncan.
Yeah. I think actually there's two fights that I'm pretty certain about. This is the other one. Yeah. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think Duncan, I'm really excited to see him fight again, because that he won his debut, but that was like a bit unfortunate with
the injury.
Yeah, with the injury. But yeah, I think that he like demonstrated his skills really well before the injury. And then with Armen, I think I don't know, like he's got like a brawling mentality. He's got like he's got power. But I think that versus someone that's as technical as Duncan, as much as I think Duncan is technical, I haven't seen that much of him. I mean, he's still early days in the UFC. But yeah, I think that it's quite a cool matchup to see, where it's someone that's going to be like swinging for the fences and someone that's just going to like piece them. But I do think he's going to piece them apart.
I also think so. I'd even ventured to say it's a bit of a feeder fight for Duncan. Okay. I think only because of his Strikeforce record. The UFC, we still need to see him test in the UFC, but I think there's high hopes for him. Especially now with the sort of resurgence of the scene in the UK. So there's high hopes, I feel. And I feel like it's going to be skill versus brawler, like you say. So I skill most of the time wins. So I don't see this one going very well for Armen, but
his last fight as well, I think that was like, it could have gone either way. I think he won unanimous decision, but like that fight was a split.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah, but to me, it
might have been a split decision, actually. Sorry, it might have been.
I think it should have been.
Yeah, if it wasn't, it should.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I do think I have Duncan winning. Yeah.
Then we've got Armen Sarukian.
Yeah, another Armen.
Surnames. Yeah. And Joaquim Silva. What are you thinking?
This is actually like, I'm really excited for this one. I think I do have Sarukian. I think that like he's such a strong contender. He's at number 8 now.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And I think people are just ducking him. I think that he's good. I'm really excited to see where he goes, and I think that it's just like, it's a cool fight to see. I think it's so cool that number 8 is fighting. I think what's the name of the
Silva?
Yeah, sorry. Silva. He's like 43 right now.
Cool.
And that's really cool. Like like, what a badass. I don't know. Or like both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also gone for Armen. I think the last while his losses have come to like Islam and to Gamrot.
Yeah.
And Gamrot's...
Yeah, I mean, one of like so underrated at that division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gamrot He was unlucky in his
with Beneil.
Yeah, he was very unlucky with Beneil. Gamrot's someone I think people are going to sleep on quite a bit. But yeah, I think Armin's just too strong. He's too dynamic. It's too well rounded.
Yeah.
This is the second fight that I was saying where there's this one I'm like.
You're fairly certain.
I'm very confident in these two. So it's both the Armin fights. So Duncan to win the one arm and then beat the one Armin Petrosian and then Sarukian to beat Joaquim.
That being said, I don't think it's an easy fight. I think that like Silva, he's got a skill set that's like quite challenging for Armin. I mean, yeah.
It's all going to depend. So I've just gone on again. If you just look at the way that they fight, Sarukian just seems to be more dynamic, seems to be more stronger. I think they both do things well.
Yeah.
But it's like in those little battles where the first clinch, you're like, oh, he's a little bit stronger than me. He's got the upper hand here. And then in the exchange, when you go out, maybe he's faster than you.
Yeah.
Maybe he's first to the punch. Just those little things that add up.
Yeah.
That start to like break your will.
Yeah.
And I think Sarukian's going to have too much of that. But I mean, anything's possible in the fight. But these two, I'm almost sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair. I do see why you said that. Yeah.
Oh, so we both got Armin for this one. Now, this one's a bit tougher to call. This is a bit of an interesting matchup, which is the main event. Just so happens to be Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier. What are you saying for this one?
I don't know how to call this. This is like it's almost like to draw like a rather strange comparison. It's like Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Like I think that there's someone with like power in their hands that can end this fight at any point, and that's Cannonier. But like Marvin, if he just takes him to the ground, like
makes it really ugly.
Yeah, like he'll definitely win, I think. Especially if he like steers clear of like hooks, then like he'll win. But yeah, Cannonier at any point, if he like lands like one clean hook, like left hook, like I think that's out.
Yeah, I think it's the story of the fight. I've got Marvin winning as well. I think he's got one way to win, and that's to make the fight ugly, really, really ugly. I don't know. It's just I don't like the way he fights, and it pains me a little bit to say. Yeah, and I mean even against Adesanya, it was like he didn't have a chance to win, but Adesanya was like struggling to put damage. It just doesn't like make you. It doesn't. You don't feel inspired to watch the fight. Yeah, he's skillful. I don't take away from his skill. I mean, like what he did with Paulo Costa as well. He just completely dominated Paulo Costa. But I don't know. I'm not that big a fan of his. It's very funny, like watching him against Costa when they had the whole like, "Are you drunk?" and that kind of thing. It was really funny, but. I mean, he's high ranked for a reason, but the reason why I bring this up is because if he wins, it's kind of like if either of them win, what happens? They're not going to be in the title picture just yet, I don't think. So what happens then? It doesn't mean they shouldn't fight. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't try to win and keep winning their fights. It's just kind of
like, what are the matchups?
What are the matchups after that? Because you've seen Cannonier versus Strickland. Maybe then they put Hamzat against one of these guys.
That would be interesting.
Then it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because then, it's battle of attrition with him and Vettori, and even to an extent Cannonier. But I think Cannonier, I mean, against Strickland as well, yes, he's got the power, but, Strickland was a split decision.
That's Strickland.
And that's Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
So I think Vettori will drown him kind of, and I think Vettori should win. Should be a unanimous decision. Yeah, I feel.
No, I same. Jared, him versus Izzy. I really enjoyed that fight. I think that like if he can get Marvin scared enough, like that he can't get started, I think that he can have more success. But I'm going with Marvin.
I think Marvin by unanimous decision as well. So yeah, guys, let us know what you think is going to happen at UFC Fight Night Vettori versus Cannonier. Comment your predictions down below. Let's see what scores you get. We're going to see in the next episode exactly what each of us got in. Each of us get. We've been I think we've been tying the last while pretty much. I think we tied 9. We tied at UFC 39. We tied in the Cara France. Albazi one as well. So this one we've got so many different predictions.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What happens in this one?
No, I'm not going to say Cannonier. I'm not going to.
No. If you want, I mean, you can. Now's the time. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I'm in the spirit of disagreement. I'm gonna go with Jared Cannonier.
Okay.
I think he's a wild card. I think that he can get it done. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jared.
And then after that, if he wins, what do you think is next for him?
Khamzat. I think that's a really cool fight.